Hey everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. You're in my corner and I have a very special guest in the corner. Would you like to unveil your secret identity to the masses?
Hello, my name is Bryn Apprill.
And we're very excited to have you on the show and I can tell that you're a bundle of excitement to be on the show yourself, which is always a plus.
Okay.
But no, we're very happy to have you on and I believe you said this was your first interview?
It is. This is my first time doing something like this, so I hope it goes well. It's not super awkward.
We got to her first, people. Nobody can compete with 91.8 The Fan in terms of stalking. Wait a second. Anyway, but no, we heard a lot about you from a few of the people that we had interviewed in the past few weeks, like Clifford and a few others, and they seemed really impressed with your progress because you're actually still in high school.
I am, yes, my senior year.
Oh, well,
So.
that's exciting. Lots of partying and sleeping, except during finals, and then you magically ace it. That's kind of what I imagine that to be.
But yeah, that's awesome. So I'm so excited to do this. It's great. Thank you so much for having me.
Not at all. So I have to ask that basic question because a lot of people, they kind of get sick of like, can you give advice for the young voice actors out there? So instead, I like to ask you your origin story. So what initially sparked your interest into acting?
Well, originally I was all focused on singing because I've been singing since I was like sitting in a bathtub having my mom wash my hair. That's how long I've been singing. So, um, but then I kind of got into musical theater, and through that, I started branching off into different kinds of theater. And it was actually one of my acting coaches who got me started into Funimation. She was talking to me about how she worked with them a couple of times, and she mentioned them, and we were at dinner, and I literally just started freaking out in the little booth we were in, and the waiter's like, "You okay?" It was so embarrassing, but so she actually like sent me all the information, was like, "This is how you do it," and that's kind of how I got into it. So that was like awesome.
So I can assume that you were an anime fan prior then.
I was, yeah. Which everyone at Funimation's like, "Hi, you should go watch this. Go watch this. That's hilarious." And I'm like, "How is that hilarious?" They think it's funny, so whatever.
Well, no, I mean, I can understand. The only reason I'm doing this is because I was an anime fan prior, and the only reason I ever do commercial work is because I was an anime fan prior, even though those have no connection. So, hey, I get it. I understand. Being a fan beforehand, I think gives you a lot more passion too when you actually get into the booth.
Yeah, I was so excited going in, like, because when you first get there for your first auditions, it's a book of characters that have already been done that you're gonna read from. And so I was freaking out looking through the characters. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I know you, it's you, it's you," and it was great. And I was like, it was like a chance to get to voice characters. So much fun.
So, out of curiosity, if you can remember, what kind of character did you pick? Did you pick a character you already knew and had already heard their iteration, or did you pick a character that you had never heard before, being like, I don't want to mess up somebody else's character?
Well, there's definitely always that little feeling in the back of your head, like, oh, I don't want to be compared to like the goddess that is like Tia Ballard or something like that, you know. But I picked a couple characters that I remembered, and then I picked a couple that I'd never heard about, but they had the little bio, so you can kind of figure out like what kind of voice you'd use. Um, but one that I remember that was had me freaking out in the booth was I can't remember who I auditioned with, but they had me read for Black Star, and I was freaking out. I was like, I don't know how to do that. I just do the super little hissy ha voices, so it was totally new. But that's something that I definitely remember from the audition process, just like having to, you know, see how it goes. But
So, from the audition process, when you finally got that phone call that's be like, we want you to actually come into the studio for something, were you like, oh my God, my heart just stopped. What do I do?
I did. It was so funny. I literally just like threw the phone at my mom and started running around the house. I was so excited. I was like, ah! And she's just like, oh, like she's like, what is she doing? And so she's looking at it, and she got excited, and I was just freaking out. And
At least she caught the phone and it didn't break.
yeah, well, I get super excited about things, and so, and of course, something this big, I was just over the top.
Hey, at least your mom could actually like read the number or the text message or whatever. My mom is still in that age where she's like, Jackie, do you remember how to check my voicemail? And I'm like, no, yes.
Oh,
Why do I have to help you with this like 8 years later? How long have
oh.
you had a cell phone, mom? How long? Bane of my existence. So, but at least, hey, at least your mom could do that.
Yeah.
So obviously the fans are super excited about Attack on Titan, which I love the way that they revealed the cast for that. That must have been super exciting to be a part of that project that was so big. And then like they're kind of trickling out the cast, and you're like, "Where's me? Where's me? I can't wait to see."
It was actually so hard because they gave us a list of who was going to be revealed what day. So we knew, and we had to just be like, no, you can't do anything until that day, and you just have to sit there and wait, and it's terrible because you're like, I want to tell you about this because it's so exciting, because they're so amazing, and you know it's going to be amazing, and you just want to let everyone know, but if you can't do that, don't do it. So
Well, so once you finally got the chance to, be like, "Hey, this is me." Did you get any fan reaction, or did you, snoop around the internet to see what people were saying or anything?
um, I that's actually when I went out and made my fan page for Facebook. Um, and because I'd started getting all these requests, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting! Like, and people were sending messages like, I can't wait to see you do this role, and I know you're going to oh, this is awesome. And so that's when I went out and I made the Facebook, and it was really cool seeing everyone respond. Like, I only had positive before, because it was one of my, so um, it was really awesome to see all the excited about it.
Awesome. Well, I know that a lot of the fans had some really interesting speculation on who the main character was. That was for me as someone who hasn't seen
Yeah.
Attack on Titan. When people are like, it's gonna be like Hugh Laurie or Ewan McGregor or something because of the way they revealed it, and I was like, you guys are really like somebody eventually was probably thinking it's Patrick, Jean Patrick Picard of the USS Enterprise or something. Some of the suggestions were hilarious. But it seems like the reaction has been very positive.
Mm-hmm. But I
So
mean,
that's
I think the casting for this show was just amazing, and I looked through a lot of the comments when they released it, and they were like, I knew that she was gonna play Mikasa, or I'm like so excited that that's Aaron. Like, I mean, a lot of people like had in their head, like a couple of people, and apparently a lot of people got it right, which I was surprised by. I was like, oh, cool. I mean, like, but they just saw it. Like, the casting was so dead on that you can just like match that voice with like the character. You just know that it's like the right voice. So it was really cool.
well, it's nice because I feel like you're in a bunch of titles that they just announced, so you kind of get to be sitting on your hands like I want to talk about this, but I can't.
Yeah, it's powerful. It's I mean it's really hard. Like when everything's getting released, like you're just kind of like waiting, and you want to like, because like one thing will be released and then people will be like, are you doing anything else? Like, and I'm like, no.
Maybe.
Say anything, and it's really hard, but it's always exciting. Like I got to see for Space Dandy when it came on TV. That was kind of like the release, and so that was really cool because at that point I'd already had a few other characters released, and they kind of got to hear my voice, and they were like, "Oh, I can totally see that now." So that was really cool.
Well, what's nice is you also have a character, and I remember looking this up for Data Live. You also have a character in that as well, and actually, your character is featured quite a bit in the trailer for the teaser trailer for the coming
Yes.
soon. So that must be exciting to be able to be like, "Hey, I'm like one of the main people in the trailer."
No, I actually I got a message from someone who sent me the trailer, and I had no idea it was out yet. So I was freaking out, and I'm sitting in my science class, and I'm like right next to my friend who also really loves anime, and I'm like, look, it's me! And they were like, oh my gosh, you're like in this a lot, and I was like, I know, and it was so funny. I was just freaking out in on my little stool there, and he's just like watching the trailer, going around and showing people the trailer, but.
I'm surprised the anime club at your school hasn't kidnapped you and like made you president or something. One day. You better watch out. You better get, the NDA ninjas will protect you, I'm sure. But no, that looks like a really fun project, and I know it kind of has some of its fan servicey moments. So I'm sure that was kind of interesting to be a part of a show that had some more, I guess, suggestive material.
Yeah. I mean, with my character, she doesn't really get into that a lot. Like her herself being a part of it. She does because that she's like always like butting into scenes and stuff. Like she does make a lot of comments about it, but it's not. I feel like they were like because that she's younger, maybe let's not have her do all of this stuff when she's 18. But but yeah, it was different. I mean, it was definitely different from like Melby or something, but you know, anime.
Well, were there any lines that got you to crack up in the booth? You're like, do I really have to say that?
um, let me think. Uh, oh, I don't know. There's this one show, and it's a very fan servicey show, but I literally call someone tits for brains, and it literally I was just like, I'm saying this, I'm saying this. They were like, yep, you're saying this, and I was just like, okay. So it was really funny, but
That's not the insult I would use. I would use something a little bit more like violent, but that's just me.
I
I'm a
know.
gamer, so.
I mean, it was so unlike the character, but they were like, well, that's what's written, so okay. And I was like, all right. And so I had to be super serious and be like, your fault, tits for brains. And I was like, that was weird, but it happens.
Hey, as long as you didn't crack up for 15 minutes afterwards and like, I need a break. I can't breathe. Tits for brains is too funny. I'm sorry.
But there's
Because
always those lines that are just hilarious. Like I remember in Red Data Girl, we were doing the commentary and we were like they have you watch the little scene that you're gonna or the episode you're gonna be doing commentary over before you do it. And I remember that one of our favorite lines in there, it was so random, but Micah just loved it. Like, we're running trying to escape these villains, and he's like, quick, we have to go somewhere that sells hats. And I'm just like, what? And it's the most random thing ever. Like, and we always cracked up. I remember we were just laughing during the commentary because we thought it was hilarious. And Joel's in the booth just cracking up. It was great.
well, I think anytime Mike is involved, everything becomes random. But that's just my personal experience with him. The last time I had him and his girlfriend on, we were talking about their tofu restaurant, actually, that they didn't actually own. We got into a whole scenario about what they would serve and everything. It was fabulous.
That's awesome. They're wonderful. I absolutely love them. Anytime I see them there, I just always get so excited and go and talk and like I remember like Micah leaves me little things at the studio when he knows that I'm gonna be there. Like he went to Hawaii one time and he brought back these little packages of macadamia nuts and he leaves me like a little bag of them and it was fabulous because he knows I love food.
I love food too. I think everybody loves food, so can't be my friend if you dislike food. There will be issues. But no, in terms of characters, you've gotten to do a lot of different ones. So, do you have a preference on what you enjoy doing? For example, do you like something more serious like Attack on Titans or something more comedic like Date Alive?
Um, it's always really fun to play the weird, quirky characters. Um, but it's really weird. I feel like this is true for so many actors. They just love getting into that dark stuff, this really dramatic, just because they feel like it's so like empowering or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun to do like the sadder, darker ones, just because it you can go so deep and do so much with it. Um, but I mean, it is always fun to do the really humorous ones because you get to say funny things. That's always fun.
Well, it's like a therapy session either way, right? You get out of the booth and
Right.
you're like, wow, I feel better. I just got to yell at somebody for 4 hours. Or I got to cry uncontrollably, or I got to make fun of somebody and call them tits for brains. Either or. It all works out.
No, it is really like therapeutic almost, like, because I usually go and work during the middle of the day. Like, I'll leave for lunch and head down there, and then I'll come back afterwards and go back to school. So it's always nice to have that little Funimation break during the middle of the day.
Man, I didn't have enough time during lunch to do anything like that. I had like 20, what was it, 20 minutes, 25 when I went to high school for lunch.
That's crazy.
I think that's all we
Oh my,
had.
we
I'm not
we
that old too. I'm 23, so I haven't been out of school that long.
no, I mean, but like everyone always leaves for lunch, so they let us have like a 50 minute lunch. So super nice.
I think it depends on what classes you have too, because like a lot of people would only take like 3 classes in their last year or something like that. So
Yeah, I'm
there's
only
always
taking 4 this year. Well, no, that's not true. I have 6, but 2 of them are dual credit, so it's only 3 times a week. So that's
oh, that's nice.
nice.
That's super nice.
So
I like it a lot. But yeah, you did mention Red Data Girl, and that's, I believe, your most recent show. I believe that comes out. Oh, I'm gonna blank now. I believe it's in close to Data Live's date. I have it on
nice.
pre-order on Amazon. Now I can't remember. Wonderful. I'm so good at this job. But yeah, that looks like a really exciting series, to be honest. I know a lot of people who either they checked out the series when it was streaming or they've been like bugging me like you have to see this. It has like some really nice dramatic moments, but it has like a lighter kind of fluffy feel to it and I'm like, oh, okay, I pre-ordered it. I'll get to it. I got to get it first. But no, I the hype for that seems really big as well.
Oh, awesome. Cool. It's good to hear.
Well, now you play the main character in that series. Would you like to explain a little bit about your character?
Yes. Her name is Izumiko, and she's this typical, like, shy high school wallflower. She doesn't really stand out. She doesn't like to stand out. She likes to kind of, keep to herself. She has her couple of friends. Um, but then she finds out that she's kind of like the holder of the ability to, like, kind of possess. I guess it's kind of possessed by, like, this deity, the
Is that
Himagami.
ability or a curse?
I mean, it can be debated either way. But then the Himagami can enter her, which is played by Caitlin Glass, and she's fabulous as well. But then she, like, it turns out that she's kind of the last person that's going to be able to be possessed by this deity. And so it's kind of about protecting her and how she's getting used to kind of dealing with this, and because it gives her so many like abilities to see spirits or to see like evil or something like that, and it's kind of hard for her to deal with being in high school and trying to attempt to not stand out and be normal. So it's kind of about her story just going through the actions of being a normal girl, but having to like hide this new part of herself.
Now, the cool thing about that is I looked up the date because the magic of the internet. That's June 17th and Date Alive is June 10th. So June gets to be a very
Yeah.
busy month for you in terms of releases.
Yes, so
You'll get to pimp them
excited.
both out. Well, so now I'm curious, you obviously have a Facebook page now, but are you thinking about doing any other social media like Twitter or anything like that?
um, I have a lot of people that are asking me to get a Twitter, and I feel like I need to. I'm so behind on social networking. It's terrible. But yeah, I had a friend sleep over when the Space Dandy episode aired, and she was like, "You should be doing something like a live tweet." I'm like, "A what?" Like I couldn't even comprehend what she was talking about. She's like, "Oh yeah, you can like message like people and tell them like what's happening as it's happening." I'm like, "Okay," or text them. Like, and she's like, "No, it goes to everyone." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." So she's telling me about this, but I feel like I do need to get a Twitter. I probably will. I'll get around.
Okay. Well, you'll let us know on Facebook, I'm sure.
Yes, I will.
So I know that you're fairly new in your career, but do you have any events that you're going to where the fans can get a chance to meet you? Any conventions coming up?
Um, I am definitely going to one that is in 2015. It's over in Orlando, Florida, and it's called Omni Expo, and it's going to be so cool. And I know that they have a lot of the Attack on Titan people that are going to be there, and so we're going to be doing autographs, photos. It's going to be so amazing. I might even pick it up, which would be awesome. Everyone's like, "You look like Krista. You could be Krista." I'm like, okay. So, but yeah, that one's for sure. And then I just recently got an offer to also do one in Chicago, but we're kind of working out the details for that. So,
No, I understand, and I might see you at Omni Expo in 2015. I can't say for sure because, in talks and all that fun stuff, but it would be nice to see you in person.
no, I'm so excited to get to meet people. It's going to be amazing.
So, since we're nearing the end of this interview here on 91.8 The Fan, we have a 91.8 The Fan tradition. Would you like to participate?
I would.
Wonderful. We basically ask if you'd be willing to do a radio bump for us, which is essentially say a line for us.
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
The trick of it, however, is that any mess ups that happen, our fans get to hear them.
All
The look
right.
she's giving me is great. I wish you guys could see it. She was like, what? She's very upset about it. I'm kidding. But basically, we ask if you could say, hello, my name is, you insert your name, I do this, you can put whatever you want there. You're a voice actress, you can mention characters, whatever. And you're tuned into 91.8, The Fan.
Wait. Okay.
It's okay, I can do it again for you.
Okay, wait, do it again.
Okay. Hello, my name is, you insert your name. I do this, you can put whatever you want there, and you're tuned into 91.8, The Fan.
Okay, can I just go?
Yes.
Okay. Hey guys, it's Bryn Apprill. I'm the voice for Krista Lenz from Attack on Titan, and you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan.
Look at that. That wasn't hard at all. Yeah, first try. Look at that. I have had people on the show before that have been in the industry for years, and they still mess it up. So
Oh, that
pat
is
on the
a
back.
regular occurrence for me. I've they are just frustrated with me in the booth. I know it.
Well, you have to be doing a good job because they keep inviting you back.
I suppose so. Maybe they just think it's humorous when I just freak out because I messed up. I don't know.
Well, is there anything else you want to tell the listeners out there? Any words of wisdom, dating advice, predictions for the end of the world?
um, well, I really hope to get to see some of you guys at the Omni Expo. That would be really cool if I got to like see you guys and go like, "Hey, I heard you on 9.8." I'd be like, "Oh, awesome!" Um, But I really hope that you guys enjoy, the work that I was able to do and when it comes out. And thank you so much for having me. This was really exciting. So,
Of course, I'm happy that this was your first interview experience and it seems like you had fun. So that means we did our
yes,
job.
thank you.
And for anybody out there that missed any of this interview, shame on you, but don't fret. It'll be up on the website within the next few days. So keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want and nothing you don't.